everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of Becoming a Backyard Birdwatcher. As a reminder, I'm Stephanie Driscoll, the Creative Services Librarian for the Schaumburg Library, and I'm happy to have you back because this week we are going to be learning tips and tricks about how to identify different kinds of birds.
But first, I wanted to review the pictures that you guys sent in. It looks like you all have been very busy this week, and I'd love to show everyone what you've spotted. So first up, we have a submission from Matt. I really like this photo because it's kind of like a hidden picture game. Can you guys spot the bird? There it is. It looks like this bird is a mourning dove. And if you look really closely, it looks like she might be sitting on a nest. Thanks, Matt. Next up, we have a video from Debbie. This video is great because it gives us a chance to see the bird's movement. So as you can see, it looks like we have another mourning dove. You can tell by the black marks on the wings and the back. The next picture that I received is from Sarah. This is a great photo because it shows both the male and female species. They're mallard ducks. Can you guess which one is the boy? It's the one with the green head. The girl one is brown. A good rule of thumb for when you're identifying birds is that the male birds get to be the ones with all the colors, the bright yellows and reds and blues, and usually the female birds are going to be the more muted browns. So for our final photos, we were able to get a bunch from Joan. Yay, Joan! And honestly, looking at these photos, it pretty much looks like she should just be leading this class instead of me. She's a backyard bird feeding professional. So she sent in some pictures of some beautiful birds. So first up, we have a blue jay. And then the next picture is a male cardinal. And he's bright red. And this sort of proves the point that I said before about males being more colorful. Because next we have the female cardinal. And you can see a little bit of red on her, but not too much. So these last two photos are just two different angles of the same bird. And if you look closely, you can see that it's mostly a gray and white bird, but that underneath its wing, it looks like it has a little bit of orangish brownish color. So this is a tufted titmouse.
So thank you so much to everyone for sending in these great bird photos. It was so much fun looking through these. All right, so now let's go into bird identification a little bit. Learning to identify your neighborhood birds is a great way to build your observational skills. And there are 4 main ways to do this: size and shape, color pattern, behavior, and habitat. So now, with help from the Cornell Lab at K-12 education, we're going to be looking at exactly how to do this.
Looking at the size and shape of a bird is very important. That's what's going to help you figure out if what you're seeing is an owl, songbird, duck, heron, or some other type of bird. When you see a bird, you're going to try and think of it like a silhouette or just the shadow. This way you can focus on the shape of the body. So for these images below, can you identify what types of birds they are? Exactly. So it's an owl, a duck, a songbird, and a goose. So our next clue, when we're trying to identify a bird, is to look at color pattern. As you can see on this drawing of a house sparrow, they have a brownish body, a black chin, and a white wing bar. Coloring, or how you describe coloring on a bird, is very important. Take a look at these next two birds. If someone were to tell you that they saw a red and black bird, it could be either of these two. But if your friend was more specific and said that she saw a red bird with black wings and a black tail, then you could tell them that it was a scarlet tanager. So what do we mean when we talk about bird behavior? We're talking about how a bird is sitting, eating, walking, and flying. Remember this video that Debbie sent us? This was a great clue for bird behavior because mourning doves are related to pigeons, and we're all familiar with the ways that pigeons walk and bob their heads. So we know that all birds don't live in all places. Here in Illinois, we have birds that you aren't going to find in other places, like Florida. Habitat is also going to refer to where the bird lives. Here's a picture of a great blue heron that I took on one of my morning walks through the forest preserve. He's going to be found in wetland areas and definitely isn't going to be somebody that I see feeding at my backyard bird feeder. So now that you know the 4 things to pay attention to when trying to identify birds, there are also other tools that you can use as well. I touched on these a little bit in my past video, but bird ID apps are very handy. Last week, I talked about the free Audubon app, but there is also an app from the Cornell Lab called Merlin Bird ID that is also free and very user-friendly. So thank you everyone for joining in with me today. Again, throughout this next week, I want to see all of the birds that you're spotting. So send me pictures or questions to my email address below. In the notes section of this video, I'm also going to link to a slideshow from the Cornell Lab K-12 education that goes into more deeper explanations of identifying birds, and I'm also going to link to bird bingo sheets that they created to go along with the slideshow. So happy bird watching, and I'll see you next week.